Okay, here we have part 3 of the HG Alus Earthree Gundam review. So on part 3 we'll be going over the articulation of the combined version and do any other comparison that is required. So as you can see, it definitely has the same color scheme, or at least the blue seems to be the same color as the original HG Earthree Gundam. So before we go over any articulation, let's see side-by-side comparison. Now, I think it's because of the high heel styled feet, it makes it slightly more taller, but if it weren't for that, I think they'd be pretty much in the same height. And you can definitely see that it's definitely a much more evil looking version of the HG Earthree Gundam. So yeah, and the only difference I would say is that it's lacking would be a shield counterpart, but oh well, that's not a big deal for me because I never really liked the original shield of the Earthree Gundam because the way how it connects. Okay, so let's see some articulation. So we're going to go from top to bottom as usual. As I mentioned, the stickers, this one is a different head and it uses 2 stickers. And I'm not sure if you guys remember, but there was like a small piece right over here. You have to actually take that part out because the blue V-fin that you see on the head is the main peg is actually where it connects. So that so you need to have that hold for the part to fully connect properly. So the head can go down that much, and definitely loving that evil looking head, and then up that much, and 360 twist seems possible as far as I can tell, despite how spiky the head looks. Once again, the body is still the same, no ab crunch because there was no ab crunch at all. 360 twist seems possible, or at least still possible. Of course, just be careful now that you don't knock off the front part. And the shoulder articulation is not really hindered at all, despite having a much more bigger armor. Of course, I think it goes less up than the original core Gundam, so still that's pretty good enough. It can go more 90 degrees to the side, or slightly more than 90 degrees to the side. 360 twist, I would say it's possible, but you need to work your way around, especially that you don't hit the wings on the back or spikes, whatever you call it. And arm articulation is still the same because there was no change right over here. Still same ball jointed hands. The backpack, there's other than these parts, there's no moving areas as well. It definitely has a more, how should I say, much more wider wings compared to the original. As you can see, this one had like white wings, but this one's much more wider and blue. And back skirt, pretty much just a piece, so no need to worry about anything about that. And then the front skirts. Now the front skirts are the parts that do tend to fall off a little bit too easily on mine, or is it the part that's not the most stable, but still it works. And I don't know, if I get annoyed, maybe I can just glue everything on and then get another Alus core Gundam. And let's see, the legs, the side parts, no change at all, so I won't be going over that as well. But of course, the front skirt, you can still go 90 degrees to the front, but not to the back because the back skirt is blocking it. And then now with the connected leg, we have a nice double jointed bend that's more visible at this point. So very nice. And now the feet, once again, the high heel style feet, but we have a front and then back section. The main connection should be, I believe this was a ball joint. Yeah, ball joint connection right over here. So we have a decent range of movement, but of course, due to how the styling is, sometimes it is going to be tricky to pose. Now, doing a neutral stand pose is fine, but when it comes to certain action poses, not going to be easy. So, of course, this thing does have an action-based connector hole right over here, so I do suggest that you use an action-based connector. Action-based. Now, the only thing that's left is, well, we already showed you guys the beam effect part, so I don't think it's really necessary to show you guys this, but now the gun. Definitely big gun. So we have this, just to compare the lengths of the gun, so let me just actually get the, let me get the original, well, not exactly the original, but the combined version of the gun. So you can definitely see it's slightly much more longer, but definitely much more beefier than the original. So it works pretty much the same, but now what you can do is to do the more higher output shot is that you need to take these apart, and then they have these 2 holes. Originally it was on the back hole, so now you attach it to the front hole, which gives it the illusion where it's now more wide open now. And then for the gun, we have this side section right over here. So the interesting part is that, so we have a peg right over here. This is how it was connected, but we have another peg that's in a more angle. What this does is that if you attach it right over here, it gives the illusion that it's now opened up. And even in the manual, they tell you to use the open hand to do this, to make it look like it's doing the double hand shot right over here, and it actually works because this part actually covers up the hand pretty well. So as long as you have the hand and arm in the right position, it definitely can pull off the double hand pose right over here. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the Alus Earthree Gundam, and I absolutely love it. I think I have to say that I even prefer this design compared to the original. So if they actually go for like a V2 or Mars 4 version of this, I would definitely go get it right away. And also for those who are now the fan of the Alus Core Gundam, it also gives you another reason to get more armor packs to attach to the Core Gundam. So I think since we're done with the basics, now I think there's only one thing left to do, and I'm pretty sure you guys know what that is. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. We swapped out the armor, so the Alus Core Gundam now has the original Earthree armor parts, and now the original Core Gundam now has the Alus Earthree Gundam armor parts. So after swapping it out, honestly, I think the Alus Core Gundam definitely digests the design way more better than compared to the original. And I definitely love that extra head. So this is the head I was talking about, that where you have to use this head to attach those extra V-fin parts. And it works pretty well. And despite the visor sections being exactly like stickers, I think it looks pretty good. I mean, it actually looks like a clear purple visor from afar. So once again, if you do this, these are the two heads that you should have as leftovers at this point, because once again, the V-fin for this one is actually specifically made for this specific head. So if you attach this armor to the original Core Gundam, he should not have anything on for the V-fin. So yeah, and that's pretty much it for the review. So this was part 3 of the Alus Earthree Gundam, and I definitely suggest for those who never liked the original design for the Core Gundam or the original Earthree Gundam, I would suggest this version. Definitely has a more interesting concept. Definitely love the looks much more better, and yeah, definitely much more fun to play with. And it comes with 3 more heads and gives you the more urge to get more armor packs, so you can, and Alus Core Gundams, so you can play around with more. Anyway, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the HG Alus Earthree Gundam. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave them comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time!